What is going on, everybody? Showing up the King here, and I'm here to bring you my review for Naruto Manga Chapter 615. Uh, just to let you guys know a few announcements. This will be the last chapter for the year. There will be a 2 week break, as there always is in the winter months. So don't freak out, everybody. This is just how it works. It's almost like Gold Week when we take a week off here and there. So, just enjoy your time off. Go back and read some old manga. Go read some new manga. We'll just have to come back strong, and that's that. Before I get into my full review for Naruto 615, uh, I promised I would address Naruto Chapter 614, which I did not do a review on, which was involved in Neji's death. I had a lot of my, subscribers, message me and tell me, hey, why didn't you, do the review for 614? You talk about Neji. Also, that week didn't do the review for Bleach as well. Like I said, work had been going crazy, getting ready for my vacation. Technically, I'm on my vacation right now, but I'm still bringing you guys this review. Uh, I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to hit some bullet points to let you guys know how I feel. And then I'm going to move on to 615 because there's a lot I want to discuss. In terms of Neji, the thoughts on his death, unfortunately, in my opinion, were not that great. Uh, I'm a sucker for character development. I'm the kind of manga reader where I read the manga, I like to get into the manga, I almost like to pretend that I'm being transported to that area and I'm a part of that what's going on as I read. It's kind of how I do when I watch movies or when I read books, whatever the case may be. I like to, put myself in that story. It just makes it more enjoyable for myself. The problem with Neji's death was it was handled. I thought it was handled very poorly. Neji was the kind of character that was really huge in part one of Naruto. He was the number one guinea. He was supposedly the strongest character. And towards the end in the tuning exam, he fought Naruto in that hard fought fight. And he had some huge character development moments there. But short of that battle, and when he faced off against the Sound Five or Sound Four, he also had some huge character development sections there. That was pretty much it for Neji. He did get some more character development. Well, I can't even say he had character development in part two, which is Shippuden, because the only real mission he went on was the first mission to rescue Gara, and they were responsible for pulling off those seals, and then the seals ended up turning into versions of themselves, and they had to fight them, the exact copy of themselves, and then that's when you learn about his new air palm technique that he learned, and basically it was, I think, what did they say? They were able to beat their clones because they were stronger than they were the previous day, or some shit like that. But other than that, you don't really see Neji again. I mean, you see him here and there. He's a backdrop character at that point. So, but like his major point in that, in the show or the manga, had been heavily diminished. I mean, to be honest with you, most of the Rookie 11 has. So, for me, not seeing Neji in so many years, and then for them to, and then also before I even get there, the way they handled his death, it was so obvious. I mean, anybody who's been reading manga for a number of years know, if you are focusing on a single character in a huge battle that's normally not focused on, he's gonna die. And that's exactly what that whole chapter was about. The chapter started off with Neji and his Neji, Hinata, and I think Hinata's dad, all fighting back against the Ten Tails. And, they're using their strongest techniques. Trigram, they're spinning around that little thing, and I'm just like, okay. They're really heavily focusing on, Neji and the Hyuga clan, and they're talking about the Hyuga clan is the is the strongest in the Leaf Village. We got to represent and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, oh Lord, here we go. So again, I'm reading now. Again, I'm not gonna sit here and be like I'm some sort of fortune teller and I saw exactly how it was gonna happen, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like they kind of had the pieces right there, so it was kind of obvious. It wasn't like, oh my God, Neji's dead. No, like I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. So when I saw his death, and number one, I always, I err to the side of caution when I see death in manga, because again, it's always taken back. And again, like I said, I've said this multiple times on my channels that I am not the kind of manga fan that is impressed by random deaths. So like, there's a lot of people be like, no, this is a war, people need to die, you need to kill more people, blah blah blah, I'm not seeing enough death. I'm like, if the story is handled well, I don't care if I see a single death of a quote unquote main character. Because again, you get situations like this. I felt like, the writers are basically pandering to the fans. They're just like, oh, you want death? Here you go. We'll kill off Neji. And I'm just like, okay, great. Neji was one of the huge, one of the biggest fans for, one of the biggest guys for some Naruto fans back in part one, but killing him off now is pointless. I mean, he doesn't really have any character development. I mean, his story was pretty much finished in part one. So, I mean, it just kind of makes his death pointless to me. Like, I didn't feel anything when he died. Now, if they would have killed Hinata, oh, I would have lost my shit. I'd have lost my shit. Like, if there are certain characters in Naruto from the Rookie 11 that died, I wouldn't care. What's his face? The dude with the dog. He didn't have any character development. If he died, I wouldn't care. The dude with the bugs, I can't even remember. This to the point where I can't even really remember their names. That's how little they've been utilized. Like, funny enough, I like 1010 more than I like majority of those these guys they've pretty much used as throwaway characters. Even Rock Lee. Rock Lee is my favorite character hands down in Naruto, and I would feel more emotion from him dying than anybody else. Because again, I felt like Rock Lee had such a profound impact on part one, even though he didn't have much development in part two, just like Neji. He made such a huge impact in part one. Even if he died, I would be like, what the hell? That's a waste of a stupidly strong character. That was a big mistake. Like, something like that. So, my whole thoughts on Neji's death is that, it's sad to see him go, but, it didn't really affect me. That's just what it is. That's all I'm going to really touch on right now as far as Neji's death. It's ready to jump into 6:15. I know you guys have been waiting for it, so let's get started. All right, I'm going to do a quick summary, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the chapter. All right, 6:15 starts off with Naruto still holding Neji in his arms. It looks like Neji is dead. I'm about 95% sure he's dead. Again, like I said, I'm very skeptical of these deaths, so he could be just lying there, and somebody can go up and heal him, or we can get the talk no jutsu from Obito, and he at the end releases all the souls again, and all that shit. So we'll see. If Neji's really dead, he's really dead. Or in the words of Ivan Drago, if he dies, he dies. So anyway, Hinata is still sitting there. Naruto's like clearly shocked, and the funny thing is I was totally waiting for Naruto to drop Neji and then just turn around and boom and like explode, and the Nine Tails rage comes out and he transforms and all that other great stuff like usually what happens. But then I had to remember that, oh wait, they are an actual team now, so that's not gonna happen. So he basically, Obito teased Naruto saying, hey, you said you weren't gonna let any of your friends die. Well, look at this, I'm killing a lot of you motherfuckers and ain't nothing you can do about it, blah blah blah. And Naruto is literally like on his knees and he's just like going into despair. And then Obito does some gay shit, reaches his hand out like, come to me, Naruto. And then Naruto's like, yes. And then Hinata slaps the shit out of Naruto. And when she slaps him and, it kind of like wakes him up from whatever trance Obito put him into. And, she basically goes through this long speech about, don't let Neji die for nothing. We're all a part of you, blah, blah, blah. And that is the bulk of that story, in my opinion, is Hinata getting more character development. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, again, I am a Naruto, whatever you fangirls or whatever, they try to combine their names together to form whatever. I'm a huge fan of Hinata and Naruto being together. Yeah, I said it. I said it. So I do kind of dig the relationships that are in the mangas, and that's one I really want to see come to fruition. So just seeing Hinata get her confidence right where it needs to be is good shit. It really is good shit because she's a character that had always been in the background. She was always you know fawning over Naruto or walking behind him, and one of her goals was she didn't want to walk behind him. She wanted to walk side by side with him, holding his hand, and that's what we got this chapter, and it was so good. It was just like just seeing her rise. She was like, we're going to rise together, and she still had her hand on his face, and he grabbed her hand, and he held on to her arm, and it was like, I'm never going to let you go. And I was just like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's a little sappy. I shouldn't be getting excited about this stuff, but this is good shit. This is good story development. I feel like, yes, Naruto has finally acknowledged Hinata. Hinata has finally got her confidence. They are holding hands. Hopefully, they'll be together. This is what I want. So the chapter kind of ends there, and it is this fantastic shot of Naruto, like in almost like a Dragon Ball Z fashion, is powering up to his final, Biju mode, and Hinata's still holding on to his arm, and then she kind of has the aura going around her as well. It was just a fantastic chapter. Like I said, the chapter itself was pretty solid. I just think that last part with Hinata and Naruto just kind of sealed the deal with me. As far as before I forget, there was a nice Killer B moment. The QB was, as I said, Obito was doing his whole speech, and he decides to attack Naruto because he was waiting for his answer. But once he saw Hinata snapped him out of it, he got pissed, and the Ten Tail started wrapping his coils around its body, I guess, to protect it, and it was getting ready to shoot a Biju Dama. And looks like Killer B is back in the game. He's fully healed. He jumps into the battle, transforms into his eight tail mode, and sticks his head in the mouth of the Ten Tails, and redirects the Biju bomb that the Ten Tails is already using, and explodes it inside of him. Now it looks like Killer B gets knocked back, but it also looks like the Juby gets knocked down as well. It does recover pretty quickly, which then happens with the whole thing with Hinata and Naruto. Like I said, it looks like Naruto's back in full power, and again, like I said, it's the next chapter should be awesome. Again, like I said, this is a solid chapter. I'd probably give it a 3.5 to a 4 out of 5, just on the simple fact of the whole Hinata development, just seeing her finally come into her own. I don't need to see her get like power ups or anything like that. Just seeing her finally, get her acknowledgement from Naruto, and for him to finally recognize her is all I needed. Because think about it, when she stepped in back at when Pain, you know, almost killed her and like stabbed her up, she sat there and told Naruto she loved him. She sat there and took some damage for him, and I felt like he never said shit. You know what I mean? I was pissed at that. I was like, after that whole fight was over, I just knew Naruto was gonna go up to Hinata and be like, I heard what you said, blah blah blah, something. The fact that they skipped that whole thing, it was bothering me. It really bothered me. I'm like, this chick just saved your life. She literally confessed her love for you, and you said nothing. So just to see him finally acknowledge her was fantastic. But like I said, I want to know what you guys thought of this chapter. Was your favorite part Hinata and Naruto finally looking like they're going to be a couple? Were you more excited about the whole Killer Bee situation? Let me know in the comment section below. Definitely thumbs up the video if you could. It definitely helps me out. And definitely, most definitely, subscribe to my channel. I love bringing these videos, guys, to you guys. In 2013 is going to be an awesome year. We're going to have a lot of great videos. I'm going to do some intros. It's going to be really hot. This is the one and only Showing Up the King. Have a fantastic day.